What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Mandy's Entertainment Reviews. So, for this episode, we are reviewing the final season of Power Force, which was on Starz. Again, final season, so there's no more Power Force. And the final season was released in 2025 going into 2026. Now, as you guys know how I do my reviews, documentaries and nonfiction, I do know, want to know, and learn. And for fiction TV shows, I do a character comparison. So I do the character's name, the prediction of what's going to happen to the character in the season, and what actually ends up happening for the season finale. But in Power's case, it is a series finale. But don't worry, we're going to have more Power because I think they're doing like a Power Origins show. So they're going to show the origins of Ghost and Tommy, of them growing up. I wonder, are they going to include how he met Tasha, Ghost? Because I want to know how he met Tasha and why she decided to stick through him throughout all that foolishness that he did to her in the TV series. I want to see that. So yeah, it was released 2025 into 2026. The final episode actually came out like a week after the new year, or it came out the week of the new year. I don't remember, but it was like a couple, like 2 to 3 weeks ago. I give the season or the series finale a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 stars. So, who's in the season? Familiar names: Joseph Sikora, who we know as Tommy from Power, who got his own spinoff. Isaac Keys, who played Diamond. Isaac used to play in the NFL. I didn't know that until I started really watching Power. Now, I started watching Power because everybody else was watching Power and they would talk about it. Now, I started watching Force. I watched like the first season. It was for free on the Starz YouTube channel, because if you've never seen the first season, or like this is your first time kind of hearing about it, you could watch the first season for free on Starz. They have like a playlist about it. And when I watched the first season, it was kind of like a slow burner to me. I didn't understand what was going on. I mean, I understand that Tommy moved from New York to Chicago because he was trying to get to LA, but he made a pit stop in Chicago. Kind of made it his life living there. He had a brother and a nephew there and all that stuff. So, yeah. Isaac Keys, Ahmad Ferguson, if you've never heard that name before. He's also in The Shy. He plays, forgot his character's name, but he plays one of the bad guys who is involved with the murder of Iman Shumpert's murder. Miriam Hyman, she plays Dre in The Shy, but her character's not on The Shy anymore. And lastly, Big Baby Davis. Glenn Big Baby Davis. I remember when he used to play for the Celtics. And I'm like, dang, he's acting now? That's crazy. See, you and Diamond been playing games. We're out of the coalition. And then after that episode came out, that was all up and down my TikTok feed. See, you and Diamond been playing games. And I think Glenn Big Baby Davis, he's not from Chicago. I think he's from Louisiana or somewhere down south. He's not from Chicago. I don't know why he's trying to like talk like this. It was weird. But the season was good. I had to binge watch the first and the second season to understand the characters and all that stuff. But I really did enjoy this season, because like as I was watching like the second season, I had a hard time like really paying attention and following what was going on because it was kind of a slow burn too, like the first season. But this season, I really enjoyed. A lot of twists and turns. Main characters died and Tommy took over Chicago, I guess. But my question is, and this is a spoiler, you did not watch the whole season, you better not be listening to this until you watch it. But why? Why is Vic and Jannar still alive? That really that pissed me off when I finished the season. So after Tariq and Tommy was on the rooftop or whatever having a conversation about taking over New York, blah, blah, blah. Then the credits come on and I'm like, that's it? That's it. And then, Vic came to Jannar and was like, we're going to take Tommy Egan. I'm like, okay, we're going somewhere. Nope. That didn't happen. And now I'm mad because Jannar, all that sand he done raised, and he's still, I mean, it's TV, I understand. But I just didn't like the fact that he was, he made it out the end of the story. I'm like, dang, that's just not fair. The Bible said there's no sleep for the wicked. So Jannar is wicked. He ain't getting no sleep. I guess. So I have a list of characters. If I don't have all the characters, I do apologize. Keeping up with characters is not my greatest skill, but I think I got a good majority of them. So if we're gonna start with the main character, Tommy Egan. So my prediction was that he's gonna raise hell in Chicago, do a takeover, and then just suddenly leave town, and that's the end of the story. All right. So what was the conclusion? He did end up taking over Chicago. He killed most of CBI in the shootout because Gennard killed JP, and we're gonna get into that later. And Tommy was pissed off. He came into the church where they were hiding, just pop, 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 just shooting, right? And then after that, there was another shootout scene, and then the remaining CBI members came to Tommy and was like, "Yeah, we want to roll with you," because by then, in the church scene, Diamond was killed, and then Gennard was left in charge, and he wasn't doing a good job. So, yeah, and then the people was like, "We're just gonna roll with you, Tommy." He called in a favor to Tariq. I always thought that the Tariq thing was just a rumor, but Tariq really did show up when he called, and him and Tommy came together and came up with a plan for him to come to New York and move work, as he say. So those were the main points. It was a lot, but I guess I'd put them with the other characters, what they had going on with Tommy. So yeah, Tommy did take over, but he also went through a lot of things, losing his brother, dealing with his mom and her addiction issues and all that stuff. So that was also included. Diamond. See, you and Diamond been playing games. So my prediction for Diamond was that he's going to violate parole, but will scam his way out of it with his parole officer. He'll do the streets a little and then settle down and get back with Leon's mom. Leon was a little boy he was mentoring, and he did kind of mess around with his mom. That's what I thought was going to happen. But he died. He died, y'all. He died protecting little punk Gennard. He died by a bullet that was meant for Gennard, but he kind of jumped in the middle of the bullet and took it for Gennard. He died protecting Gennard, and he was back in the streets. So I know it's more to that, but that's what I took from it. Died in the streets, was working with Tommy, moving weight and all that stuff. So yeah. Gennard, he will betray his brother, go deep into addiction, and his mind will flip against everyone. And I was right. He did get into addiction. He got big-headed when he took over the whole CBI thing. Lost most of his gang, killed by Tommy, and he killed King Kilo because he was playing games. Because him and Diamond was playing games. And yeah, again, came out the series alive. That still makes my stomach burn. It's just not fair. Yeah, he killed JP too, and he killed JP. They were on the phone, and Tommy heard his own brother be killed by Gennard, which was, I thought, so sad. And then yeah, he was kind of in his addiction. He was against his brother, and then him and his brother eventually came together. Claudia will betray her family in a huge way, then die. And she did betray her family. She started a dating relationship with Elsie. She loved Elsie, but then she went to prison, but later died by being killed by Tommy and admitted to killing Liliana. Long story short, Claudia died by running her mouth, and she got stabbed in prison. But I thought that's what killed her, but nope, she was alive after that. So yeah. Vic will portray his sister and father, and in the end, he did kind of with working with Tommy. He moved away from Chicago after working with Tommy. Tried to have him killed, but failed because he tried to have somebody come and kill him after JP's funeral. And he worked with Gennard to get Tommy killed. I think he moved to somewhere deep in the woods outside of Chicago, because how the heck did you still get Chicago news stations? Probably moved to Beecher or something. That's way south Will County. Will County is a part of Chicago. It's the county south of Cook County. JP will fight to keep Tommy, will fight Tommy to keep his son away from the streets, but will fall victim. And that is what really happened. His character grew. What we saw was him and D-Mac did grow in a relationship. You know, there was a part where he told his old man he loved him and all that stuff. So I always thought, okay, they're getting close and close and close, as father and son. But once it was found out that, Jannard and Diamond wanted to kill D-Mac, JP went to go beat up Jannard, and then all of a sudden Jannard broke into JP's house and killed him. So, yeah. So he was the victim of the streets. And I didn't appreciate that either. Jannard was so evil. I think, you know what I think? We have the same hate for Jannard that we have for Tariq, but Tariq was just like our bad little brother. Like, Jannard is just the neighborhood a-hole, if you will. Like, it's a big difference. D-Mac, I thought D-Mac was gonna die in the streets, honestly, but he joined his uncle in revenge. He had a girlfriend, Genesis, and he gave off like, I'm a gangster grandpa and I'm proud of it. This season, like, he ended up helping Tommy take out Jannard's crew and all that stuff, and at the end, I think we're starting to see like a ally situation with him and Tariq. And I also read on Twitter, like, somebody said, oh, Tariq is jealous of his blood nephew and blah, blah, blah. No, I think Tariq, in my opinion, is getting, like, a feel for, like, how they're going to work together, basically, with Tommy. But nope, D-Mac did not die. I was kind of shocked to find that out. Shanti's going to get caught up with the feds because of her switching back and forth. But she ended up working with Tommy to take out CBI. She caught Jannard, because I think that was his girlfriend, with Jade, the stripper, who's played by Portia Coleman. Portia Coleman is a legend. She's been in a lot of music videos. She's acted a lot. What else? She helped get Jannard off drugs and all that stuff. So basically, she switched on Jannard. Yeah, and that's how the whole like shootout scene started. And forgive me if like my notes are very generalized. I didn't have a lot of room for the characters, but that's what happened. Elsie was Claudia's girlfriend. I thought they were going to get married, but she left Chicago after Claudia died in Tommy's apartment, which motivated to leave her to die, basically. So yeah, she just was like, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this. Maria was involved in Tommy's craziness all season, so I thought, she will leave Tommy or leave with Tommy to go into hiding, and she was going to lose her job at the hospital. But turns out she was pregnant, and the longest time, like the whole time when she was talking about her baby, I said, that girl ain't pregnant. She not really pregnant. Where's her little bump? She's not pregnant. All that stuff. But she really was pregnant. And she pushed Miguel and Tommy into a family friendship because obviously she's Miguel's sister. Tommy is the baby's father. Miguel is the uncle. Gotta get along, right? She had obvious hesitations about Tommy's lifestyle. And Kate is Tommy's mother. She found out that she was trying to escape to Mexico. And at first she took it as, oh, you trying to abandon my son. But basically, she was protecting her baby. Which I understand. It's a smart thing to do because it's a crazy lifestyle and that baby is innocent. So, yeah. As she should have. Stacey Marks, who is Miriam Hyman's character, she'll get involved in the politics and her corruption will be exposed. And then I didn't know, I kind of forgot her. I didn't know she was married to Bobby DeFranco. Her and Bobby's corruption was exposed. She tried to arrest Tommy, but she was one of the main characters that was killed. That Tommy killed her like down in one of those underground street tunnels. Like, it looked like Lower Record Drive to me. I think that's where he killed her. Miguel hates Tommy and will kill him in a shootout. That was my prediction, right? But because Maria is pregnant, they became family with Tommy and they combined the cartel. And he helped Tommy take out the members of CBI with Jannard and them, and helped him kill Ortega. Because that part with Ortega, when he pointed the gun at Tommy, and then basically he handed the gun to Tommy to kill Ortega. I was like, oh man, he's gonna kill Tommy over Ortega. Oh Lord, what a twist. But nope, the twist was he gave the gun to Tommy to kill Ortega. Kate, I thought Kate was gonna die of an overdose in New York because of what was going on. I was sure like she would have been pushed back into drugs. Her grandson is in the streets. Her son is dead. Her other son is, in the streets with the grandson. So I thought she was gonna, take one bad hit and it was over for her. But she ended up being in AA meetings and she tried to she tried to apologize to her son and to all her sons actually, because it was just awkward. And she went to New York and praised Herman, who is JP's father, at the funeral. So I guess she was maintaining her sobriety and she ended up living too. And she got out of Chicago to survive. Marshall is Ahmad Ferguson's character, who's also in The Shy. So my prediction for Marshall was that he might die in a shootout protecting D-Mac because, him and D-Mac were cool since they were kids, right? I was wrong. So what actually happened was D-Mac killed him because he was on Jannard's side and not D-Mac's side. And which was messed up because he let D-Mac stay in his house. But D-Mac said something about his mother. And yeah, D-Mac killed him right in the kitchen. So he was one of the characters that was killed off as well. Bobby DeFranco, he was going to kill or reconcile with Stacy. So I thought he was going to kill Stacy, and we'll work a major case that will affect his other cases or his work. But what happened was he was killed by Bill Singh, and it was a setup by Tommy because Tommy popped out of nowhere and said good work and all that stuff. So that was a crazy twist. So him and Stacy, husband and wife, dead. Yikes. Tariq. I thought when I saw Tariq, I thought it was going to be an in and out favor. He wasn't even going to have speaking lines. That's what I thought. But he ended up staying behind and he met D-Mac. And he asked Uncle Tommy to come home to New York and move work with him. So, I thought it was like a 5-second, no problem, Uncle Tommy, love you, see you later, back to New York. But nope. They had dialogue. Bill Singh, simple word, corruption. And I was right. It was a lot of corruption with Bill, and he became the U.S. Attorney for Chicago. Shay, I assume, would disappear with a lot of money and never be heard from again. But he brought together the cartel with Miguel and Tommy. So that was the ending for that. Let's see. King Kilo. See you and Diamond been playing games. So I thought he would be the neighborhood terror because, all the bad people shows have neighborhood terror. So I thought it would be King Kilo for him. But he was kind of a terror. He ended up getting out of jail and he became a meme online. And he was killed by Jannard after he killed JP at JP's house. And lastly, Manny Fresh might die from being caught up. And she was caught up in a shootout. Or no, she wasn't killed or anything. She was just involved in the shootout, nothing more, nothing less. So I don't know why I included her, but she was on The Shy too. So that's maybe why. So yeah, that's my prediction and my conclusion with the characters that I remember. So what did I like about this season? That D-Mac and JP were getting close. Like there were incidences where, D-Mac was scared or just too proud to ask his dad for help. Like, after he got kicked out of Marshall's house. He needed a place to stay. So he was kind of like prideful, but kind of was like, hey, I kind of need a place to stay, blah, blah, blah. And, JP just welcomed him with open arms. D-Mac had a love interest storyline, which I didn't mind that because can't be just strictly gangsta all the time. You gotta have a love interest. Kate, JP, and Tommy discussed forgiveness and moving forward. That was covered in this season. It was awkward, but it was covered. And Miguel and Tommy became family because, again, Maria was pregnant, and Maria is Miguel's sister. So, yeah. And what did I dislike? Jannard is alive, and he was not killed in the shootout, but his brother was. I didn't like Vic's clueless girlfriend. She just act clueless. She didn't rub me the right way. And lastly, me being loud and wrong that Maria was not pregnant when she really was, and she ran away to Mexico to protect her baby. I should go back and delete those tweets on my Twitter. But yeah, that's my conclusion and prediction on the last season of Power Force. So if you guys have not seen the show before, if you have the Starz app, all 3 seasons should be on there. And thank y'all for listening. Peace.